Car chases are dangerous and unpredictable. Viewer discretion advised.
We have some breaking news to tell you on KCAL 9, a police pursuit near Southgate. You can see a unit there following that vehicle there. They just apparently crossed Vermont Boulevard. You see some motorcycle officers there. They are on Century Boulevard at this time. It looks like he's going pretty slowly at this time. Not sure what the driver is wanted for, but we do know that there is a pursuit going on. It started in Southgate, then went up to 103rd in Compton, and then along westbound Century and Avalon, and there you see what looks like, I don't know, I think that appears to be a small SUV, maybe a minivan. You see that unit there following very closely behind, and a number of other units behind that patrol car as well. They are headed towards what looks like a construction site or zone area. Again, it looks like that driver slowing down somewhat. Not sure how fast he's been going during this pursuit, but and now he's crossing an intersection, not breaking any traffic rules at this time, but you see him crossing Normandy at this time. Again, going very slowly, not sure exactly just how fast he's going. All right, Stephanie, what can you tell us about this?
Okay, right now we're hearing scanner traffic that this is a possible carjacking suspect. I've been watching this for quite some time. This person has been maintaining a decent speed and also police tracking this individual, keeping a safe distance, not staying too far behind, not getting up close to him, just kind of tracking this situation. And that's often the case, the strategy of police when they are on Surface Street, Sharon, because you have to be careful when there's school zones around, when people are walking to their cars. This is a very, very busy time of the day. It's 8:22 right now. People are getting out to work. They're crossing the street. Kids are with them. You can see the sign in the corner there that it is a school zone coming up. So they have to be very careful in situations and in areas like this. And we are coming up on Western. That's a very, very busy part, Western and Century. So we are in the Inglewood area.
Yeah, it stops at that light there. This is a very dangerous situation here. Oh no, he's rolling. He's rolling through that intersection. He went through that red light. Very, very dangerous. Okay, he's driving along Jesse Owens Park on the right there, going at a very, very low rate of speed. You're saying, Steph, that this is possibly a carjacking suspect?
To confirm that information.
Okay.
Again, as I said, yes, we're trying to confirm that, and it is unclear right now if someone else is in the vehicle. So we are trying to get that information right now. But again, you can see, look at the force behind this person.
Yeah.
So many squad cars up on this person. So that person is definitely seeing all that activity in their rear view mirror as well. But again, not driving erratically. We've seen so many different car chases on surface streets where they're taking turns left and right, people crossing the street, having to jump out of the way. This is a very tame looking pursuit as we're seeing right now, and we're coming to Sharon up on another red light as we speak, and that looks like that might be, it's hard to see the sign there.
It could be one person or it could be two people inside that car. We are not sure at this time because you never know. When we don't even know whether it's a man or a woman, we do know that it's someone who's possibly stolen a car. We're still in the process of getting that confirmed, and leading police on this pursuit. LAPD in pursuit of this, what appears to be an SUV, driving in a construction area of Inglewood. They just passed Jesse Owens Park, and now they are making their way towards another very small intersection.
And the next big thoroughfare coming up, Sharon, is Crenshaw. So we are far away from any opening from any freeway, but you can see, look at the massive construction.
Oh, indeed. And this guy doesn't seem to be going very fast. We want to welcome our CBS 2 News viewers. You're watching a pursuit that's in progress. You see a number of LAPD units following what appears to be an SUV, a bronze-colored SUV. We are not sure how many occupants are inside that vehicle. We do not know whether it's a male or a female, but we do know that he or she has been going at a very slow rate of speed. crossing these intersections, not paying attention to traffic rules and laws, and basically blowing past these red lights. Stephanie, what else can you tell us?
Right now, we're still waiting on the most important information. Is it confirmed if this person did, in fact, steal that car? We know a lot of times in the past, these pursuits in South LA, that is, in fact, the case. But you never know what's going through these people's mind, where they started. But we can tell you, Sharon, and you've covered many of these, they often go back to the area of origin. So perhaps the car, if indeed it was a carjacking, was stolen in this area.
All right. For our CBS 2 News viewers, we will take a break and be right back. In the meantime, if you're still watching us here on KCAL 9, you're watching a pursuit that's in progress in the Inglewood area.
Yeah, Sharon, this is Jeff Michael, by the way. I just joined you, and I'm guessing that the chopper has not found the car at this point.
They did. They were following that car, but then I think it appears that it just sort of took a turn and got a bit lost. You see the units there on the upper right side of your screen, behind those buildings, behind that Wendy's there. That's where the pursuit is happening.
All right, there we see the black and whites.
Yeah.
And now we're moving from Inglewood, getting a little closer to LAX, which becomes an issue not so much for the police helicopter, but certainly for our helicopter as they get into the air traffic control area. Obviously, where planes are landing.
Yeah. A very busy area as well. You see a number of businesses and a lot of traffic at this time. It is 8:30 in the morning, close to it. A rush hour, basically.
Yeah, but it seems like, at least in this area of Inglewood, there's the car. In this area of Inglewood, not too much traffic, not going very fast either. It's, do we know how many, as I said, just joining you, do we know how many people are inside? Have we heard that from police?
We don't know. We don't know whether the driver is a man or a woman. And we're still in the process of confirming whether this is a carjacking suspect.
Sharon and Jeff, we just got off the phone, our assignment desk did, with local police department. They said no information. They have absolutely no information right now, and to call them back.
We want to welcome back our CBS 2 viewers. You are watching a pursuit that's happening in the Inglewood area. A number of police units, LAPD units, in pursuit of that car there. It appears to be an SUV. It just blew an intersection, and it has been going at a very low rate of speed so far.
And just to give you a kind of a beat on where we are, if you saw the construction area, that's where the new Rams Stadium is being built. So we just went past that. And now, I don't know if Inglewood police have shut down traffic, because I can't imagine that that street is that sparse at this hour, but it is. And only at this point, probably about 2 or 3, I would imagine, black and whites behind them. And while we're going to continue covering this on KCAL 9 News, we are going to let our CBS 2 viewers go ahead and join someone else in progress.
Right. All right, for our KCAL viewers, you are watching a police pursuit going on right now in Inglewood. This started roughly in between 8 and 8:15 this morning. You see that SUV there crossing that intersection. Well, there are a number of LAPD units in pursuit of this car. And right now it seems to be a slow speed pursuit through surface streets. We are trying to find out whether it is a carjacking suspect or suspects that is in that car right now.
Yeah, we're very often in a case like this, officers will just pull the car or want to pull the car over for something, and it's a failure to yield. The person just doesn't want to pull over, and that could also be what this is. When you look at someone going this speed, which is below the posted speed limit, you very often find someone who's just nervous and doesn't know what to do. They know they don't want to talk to police, but they're not exactly sure where they're headed.
In many cases on the phone, talking
there
to
is that.
somebody else and
There
trying to
is
figure
that
out
as
what's
well.
going on.
And guys, if I can jump in here,
Yeah.
we are our known location now, Century Boulevard westbound, as we have been for quite some time, crossing La Brea. So very close by is going to be LAX, and then we'll hit restricted airspace there. So we are very close to the 405. Of course, the 405 at Century is your LAX exit. So this person was crossing the 110 a little bit ago, made no indication that they wanted to get on the freeway, but once we hit the 405 and head closer to LAX, we may start to see some changes here. And then, of course, the police will have to back off a little bit as well.
Well, the airport police and the LAPD, and I'm not sure, in fact, I have to, because this began in Southgate, it could be Southgate PD who are following them. They all work together very well. But if this driver was to attempt to enter the airport, that's when all bets are off.
Right.
Because the airport police do not let an out-of-control vehicle into the airport. But I would doubt that would happen. It doesn't seem like this driver has a whole lot of intentionality, behind him right now. You would think.
Still going at a pretty slow
really slow.
rate.
But they're not, as we mentioned before, not driving erratically per
No.
se, making any wild turns left and right, or they just seem to be cruising around trying to blend in with traffic. You can see, we're going by the 405 right now. That busy side is the northbound side of the 405. And the southbound side open, but they've already gone under the freeway there, so not jumping on the 405, but we are right next to LAX there.
And there we see that driver right there. We picked him up on the other side of the 405.
Now this is just a hotel area. There's your map you saw there.
Yes.
This is, as you move into Century and you're heading west toward LAX, there are a lot of hotels, and the traffic is, he may not have had a lot of traffic before, but now there's going to be an awful lot. Now this is what I was talking about with our helicopter. Our helicopter has to stay within a very exact parameter and keep of LAX and keep in communication with the control tower. They give the helicopter a specific altitude, so if we lose this car momentarily, that
person is. You'll see him.
Going behind another hotel, staying on Century Boulevard. Now,
Has been for the last 10 minutes or so. That driver has remained on Century Boulevard.
yeah, but he's going to
It
have to make
seems
a
to be,
decision here.
yeah. At some point, he or she will have to make a decision. Looks like that person has picked up some speed, don't you think?
Hard to
it's
tell.
hard
I
to
know
tell,
Sepulveda is coming up. Sepulveda is the right turn or left turn that he or she would make before going into the airport, and they're getting very close to that,
slowing down.
Well, now here's interesting. Yeah, because this is the first time the driver has met up with a problem.
Yeah, and there's the
Traffic,
Denny's on the
yeah.
corner, so we are right up next to Sepulveda. You turn right
There's the
there, you go
intersection
right
of
to
Century
the.
and what intersection was that, Steph? Do you know?
That was Sepulveda.
Sepulveda, okay,
Yeah, and you
gotcha.
can see they're making the railroad, the railway heading towards LAX. So that's been a year out of construction. It's still there, but this person passed on by.
All right, now we're moving over by. This was kind of the freight area. No, actually not. He's going to go right up on a World Way.
Interesting.
Yes.
Oh, and that truck just pulled out right in front of him, so that truck's going to be going slower too. That might mess this person up a little bit as well.
That truck is now pulling over.
Do we know if, asking our producers, do we know if this is LAPD or if this is Southgate?
Okay.
Southgate. All
Southgate.
right.
Okay.
So they would have stayed, they would have told Los Angeles that they're coming into their jurisdiction. LAPD could have been, I'm sure, is helping them. But this is really going to be interesting. Now, wait a minute. He should have already, or she should have already gotten into, up into LAX. Stephanie, did they make a turn?
Yeah, they turned off. It's unclear right now because there's all the wiring. I can't see the street names. That's what's difficult. If he continued on Century, that's of course where you have all of those rental car places
Yes,
and
very much so.
Giant parking lots. But it's kind of hard to tell right now.
It looks like a commercial area.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
A commercial area or even an industrial area borderlines the two, but
We're
hard to see them.
still either east or southeast of LAX.
looks like that person made a loop, but maybe I'm just...
Yeah, World Way is over there as well.
Right. That's what takes you into the terminals.
Yes.
He's going westbound.
Well, you can't go westbound very far without running into Southwest Airlines. Coming up to another intersection, making a decision. Now, there's a red light there.
Yes.
He's going to go through the,
And there's a
through
car.
the red light.
Ooh.
Nope, take a right.
Okay. All the cars are pulling over to the side. They're seeing the units behind this one, this SUV.
Maybe he is on Sepulveda. I mean, we're going to.
Can we tell what's? Yeah, we're trying
Well,
to
there's
figure out what
Avis.
street.
That's right.
When you lose that visual and they make a few turns, it gets
Clearly,
pretty-
this driver does not know what he's doing.
No, but if he's now going
He's
north.
going northbound. Okay.
Well, if history would be any indication, he would just want to get out of there, maybe head back toward the freeway.
Just past the Hertz.
Yeah, this is There's no reason at this point, from a police standpoint, for officers to really do anything to intervene. Unless they have information that the driver is armed, that there is someone in the car being held against their will, or if the action of the driver is putting others at risk. Those are the reasons that officers would do the pit maneuver, which is where they spin the car around, or when they would lay out a spike strip, because all of those maneuvers actually, come with consequences. They can put the driver in danger. They can put other drivers who are on the road in danger. So they don't do it unless they have to. And at this point, that's why you just never know how they're going to end. But at this point, they're calm to just say, yeah, let's follow this guy, not provoke him anymore, or this woman, and see what happens.
And if this is a carjacking situation, I just hope the victim is safe somewhere and not in the car with the suspect.
Yeah, that would be
That would be
unusual.
Well,
and a
and-
horrible situation.
And it looks like he's slowing down just a little bit right now.
Maybe we can get a beat on the
it's a red
street sign
light.
there as he goes through.
he's
Nope,
trying-
the back of the street sign. All right,
he's
making
made
a
a
left turn.
And usually with those pit maneuvers, they have to wait until the car is moving at 30 miles an hour or less. And then if they put out a spike strip, it doesn't disable the car right away. So that person could keep going for miles and miles.
Oh, we've seen them. Yeah, Stephanie, we've seen them right on rims.
Exactly. And you see those
Okay,
sparks
That's
before.
LA County Sheriff's Department unit that's following him now.
Well, they could have picked it up
Yeah,
in Compton because
some point.
they cover Compton.
So a number of agencies we've seen following him.
Jeff and Sharon, I just wanted to let you know our assignment desk did confirm this is in fact a carjacking suspect.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, then, now we don't know. Once again, you don't know if on a carjacking, which is kind of a colloquial term for stealing someone's car from the driver, you don't know if they used a gun. Very often they can just walk up and say, hey, get away from your car, I'm taking it. So the other piece of information we need is this person armed? We know that that they're certainly bent on doing something that they shouldn't, that they're bent on breaking the law. So that gives us a little bit more information and know what officers are dealing with. And we also want to point out, because we just lost a police officer, I believe it was in Whittier, right? And correct me in the booth if I'm wrong on that, just walking up to a car, a normal routine stop, as they say, and that officer was shot and killed. So as if you will, I'll be honest with you, as boring as this may seem, when you're the police officers behind, you do not know what is in store for you. And that's why you have to be very cautious.
Yeah, Jeff, you're talking about that situation where it was a gang member that had been out of jail for less than a week, was involved in a traffic accident. The officer just went to the car to help that person,
Yep.
and shots were fired.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a very scary, very dangerous job for these people. And so you understand the strategies, especially on surface streets when pedestrians are involved as well, people completely unaware going about their normal routines, crossing the street, and then you have a pursuit and you could become unintentionally a part of it.
Going back, looking, are we in Westchester?
We are in Westchester right now. What street are we on? If the reason.
Westbound Manchester passes.
Okay,
All right,
we think it's,
we think it's Sepulveda.
yeah.
Now
This is-
westbound on Manchester.
Yeah,
Okay.
hasn't picked up
Okay.
any. He hasn't picked up any speed. Oh, we are westbound of Manchester. Okay.
So again, we're still around LAX.
Yeah.
Heading over toward Loyola Marymount.
And Lincoln is a big thoroughfare as well. So if this person decides to make a turn north or south, hitting Lincoln will be also very, very busy.
If you're just joining us, this is Jeff Michael along with Sharon Tay, and we are following a pursuit that began in Southgate, a carjacking suspect, and he has been going slow the whole time.
Yeah. You're watching a pursuit that's in progress right now in the airport area. This has been happening since about 8:15. Actually, we picked it up at around 8:15. For CBS 2 viewers, we welcome you this morning. You're watching breaking news of a pursuit that's happening in Westchester. This is near the LAX area. A number of units, law enforcement units, are in pursuit of this SUV. We believe that the occupant, the driver inside that SUV, is a carjacking suspect.
We don't know the situation surrounding the carjacking.
But this pursuit...
For CBS 2 News viewers, we'll be right back with more of this pursuit.
And we continue on KCAL 9 following police who were following at least one person inside an SUV that was apparently carjacked from somebody in Southgate. We haven't seen anything out of the ordinary though as this person drives. I mean, I don't even think that's blowing a red light there. And that is
Georgetown.
Georgetown. Thank you, Stephanie.
Okay, so Lincoln Boulevard coming up here.
Okay.
And this is a nice area. We're getting closer and closer to the ocean and Playa Del Rey. So you're going to see a lot of homes, a lot of apartment complexes.
They're going away from the airport
yes.
towards Playa. Okay.
No real plan there. You see probably about now, I'm counting about 5 black and white units along with, Southgate police along with sheriff's deputies following this person. Southgate police would be in charge of this pursuit, but really there's very little to be in charge of at this point, as slow as this person is going. There you see a car just parked there in the left-hand turn lane.
Looks like he's about to stop. But then he's probably...
Well, everybody else there is stopped, but he's going through.
He's going to go through it. He's going to go through that intersection. Gosh, going exceptionally slow.
Yep, they just crossed over Lincoln Boulevard there.
That was
That
Lincoln,
is Lincoln, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Police will always tell you if you are driving on the street and you see a lot of squad cars and perhaps find yourself in the middle of a pursuit, maintain your lane. I know it's reactionary to pull off to the side, but police always tell you maintain your speed, maintain your lane. Don't try to interfere with any pursuit going on, just let it pass you by. On the 210 freeway months ago, we saw some activity with a wild pursuit, and a semi-driver saw what was going on in the rearview mirror, tried to cut off the car being pursued, and the police, though it actually ended up helping, they said, please don't do that in the future. Just keep on going your speed, your pace, maintain your lane, and keep yourself safe first and foremost. But it appears that this person is lucky and there aren't very many cars on the road in front or around this person.
In case you're just joining us, you are watching a slow-speed pursuit in progress in the Westchester area. This driver headed towards the Playa Del Rey area with a number of LA County units, LA County Sheriff's units behind.
Manchester doesn't go that much further, guys.
No,
we'll dead end here at Pershing Drive, and you're just a hop, skip, and a jump away from the ocean there.
And that's a very busy area right there at Manchester and Pershing. And then there's so many condominiums in that part of Playa del Rey, as you said, Stephanie. So it would almost indicate that this driver really isn't very familiar with the area because there's no strategic reason to be driving toward the beach.
Exactly.
And he's not really trying to get away. And I'll use the word he. I believe it's a male, but we don't know for sure. Not really trying to get away.
That was Saren. Yeah, we're seeing some indecisive behavior now without using the blinker, going in the left-hand lane, the right-hand lane now, perhaps very unsure of where they're at.
Or just lost, you know, just lost.
Too, yeah.
and
you know, usually, look, I mean, carjacking, people who steal cars, they have a reason to do it. It's not just on a lark. So whoever did this needed a car and needed to go somewhere. That's why you want a car. And yet it seems like this person has absolutely no idea where to go. Especially, as Stephanie pointed out earlier, the reason they go back to an area they know is not just so they can know where they're driving, but it's so they can hide. They can jump out, and they've been successful in the past doing that. Maybe, you know, be taken in by a friend, You know, they know the neighborhood so well that they know exactly how to get away. Not happening here.
Yeah, you can see people off to the shoulder, workers at the Playa West Automotive. They were outside, standing, looking at what was going on, all the activities. So they're seeing all of those squad cars. People are starting to come out of their businesses and watching this go by. Now, the person just passed Falmouth Avenue, and we are coming up on Tuscany and then Pershing Drive, where Manchester runs out of steam there as far as that street.
Interesting to see what this person does next, because the options are quite limited, no?
Exactly.
Yeah, you can go into. I mean, Manchester. You're right. Manchester does continue, but not in the size of street that it is now. All right, going through another intersection. Oh, deciding to make a right.
Not sure.
Maybe a left. Maybe a U-turn.
A U-turn. Clearly, this
left.
driver is
All
lost.
right. So we're making a left on Pershing.
Okay, so that, if this person continues going south, that will put us back down towards the airport.
You know, there's really, as you watch this at home, and we're keeping an eye on it, there you go. There's the map. Shows you exactly where that person is driving. You see the Playa Del Rey on your left. Right to the right of the Y is Pershing Drive. There you go. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.
And that goes right past the end of the runway. A lot of people go down there and park. They just to watch the jets take off. And it's actually a beautiful area. But this is one of those things where we'll give you as much information as we can, but there's precious little of it right now.
Very much so.
Well, we don't know how much gas this person started with, but what we can tell you is it originated in South LA. This person took a drive on Century, went underneath the 110, then closer to the airport. We found him, he or she, on Manchester, and now on Pershing going southbound. So again, we're heading right there towards the airport.
Not running into much traffic right now.
Not at all.
And this person has the opportunity to pick up speed, but clearly has maintained this low rate of speed.
And now we're just seeing him drift in each lane, left and right, not quite sure.
Well, or doing something in the car, like talking on a phone, or
perhaps,
you know.
Yeah.
Haven't seen anything.
Slow down.
A lot of times you'll see them throw something, whatever might be incriminating, out of the window. In this case, if there was a weapon used, that would be a good choice. The windows have been rolled up. It doesn't look like there hasn't been any hands out of the window.
And usually if Chopper gets a closer look, we can see inside and almost count the heads in there, but they're tinted windows. It's really tough with this particular pursuit. We can't see anything.
And there you see the threshold of the runway as it goes past. None of this, by the way, is going to affect traffic at this point going in or out of LAX.
Not at all. If this situation continued on Sepulveda, as far as surface streets, or Century once again, we would run into a real issue, but it's going to be restricted airspace again here in a little bit.
Okay.
You know, just to kind of put this, I don't know if we really say context, because these things are all so different that there really isn't much of a context, but he's coming up right near Dockweiler State Beach. We once had a pursuit where the driver took officers all the way to a beach, got out of the car, didn't know where to run, ran down the sand and into the water, into the ocean.
Why am I not surprised?
And they had to go in and get the guy out of the ocean. So that gives you an idea of just how unplanned and frankly how dumb these things can be.
These criminals are.
Yeah.
Is that's World Way?
Yeah, that's the one that cuts up into the airport.
Now, guys, we can't tell you, CHP often tells us, and local PD as well, the size of the vehicle comes into play. This is an SUV, but those squad cars are designed for pursuits, for knocking big cars out of the way, off the freeway, trying to get the situation under control, and they're specifically designed for pit maneuvers. So we've seen box trucks be stolen, and they send cops on wild pursuits, and they do the pit maneuvers with those box trucks as well. So they're designed to handle any kind of situation.
Well, and this by no means is second guessing, whoever the incident commander is on this, but if they were going to do something, if they were going to intervene, this is the place to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there's almost
open.
no traffic. It's a remote area. There are no homes around. There are no businesses around. So, but once again, the problem is that officers don't want to do something that puts them in danger. If you spin that car around, you spin the driver directly into your face. And that's not something, when you don't know if he's armed or not, that's not something you want to do.
Again,
but if there was a way to, you know, I mean, this is
there's a way to stop him
perfect
because
spike strip area.
the speed is so, he's going so slowly.
Almost too slow, as Stephanie pointed out, for the pit maneuver. You have to have a little inertia in order to spin the car around.
You almost wonder if he or she is going to come to a stop soon.
Yeah.
They're going, so this is a slow speed pursuit. That's definitely what we're seeing right now.
Well, you know, Sharon mentioned, you know, there's no telling how much gas they have, or Stephanie, maybe you did. I'll tell you what, at this speed,
It could go for hours.
Go for hours.
Yes, it could go for hours.
Well, the one thing about that is this person, it's inevitable, they will run out of fuel, but CHP won't. There's always a new squad car to back up the other one. So
does it look like a PT Cruiser to you?
It does. It doesn't look like an SUV.
Yeah.
All right, just
okay, going toward the beach.
Yep. Just turn right on Imperial Highway.
Yeah,
going to the beach.
Hey, maybe he or she will get out and run into the water.
Maybe they will.
Well, they have Vista Del Mar up ahead of them, and that is the only street left.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, this person will be running out of road.
This may come to an end very soon.
Okay, let's see what this person does.
But the police haven't switched their strategy at all.
No.
They haven't gotten any closer. They haven't gotten any further back since this started
That's
in
Vista
South LA.
Del Mar right there on your
Look, you can
just
see
ahead.
You can see the sand
beach.
right there.
All right. Point of decision.
Yeah, and the parking lot's right there. Hopefully, this person will drive into the parking lot and
Makes
give
a
up.
right. Nope.
Making a right.
Nope. Making
realizing.
U left.
Okay, so what's this is
sweeping
Vista?
So
left.
south on Vista Del Mar. So we're heading into or towards El Segundo right now.
Now now we're moving into areas where there are homes, and although this person hasn't shown any inclination to be violent, you know, it's a different situation. Also, by the way, when we talk about the reason we bring up all these different law enforcement agencies, other than just to tell you who's involved, they all have slightly different manuals when it comes to how they do this. The CHP, for example, has a different standard operating procedure than the LAPD. In fact, back when Bill Bratton was chief of police with LAPD, he changed the LAPD's policy on pursuits. He just didn't want to see his officers pursue cars unless somebody was in danger. Now that's changed back, and we see it happening. And obviously, you can see what the sheriff's department is doing here. They're being very, very patient. They're not provoking him. This guy is just spending a lot of taxpayer money right now.
In case you're just joining us, let me just recap. Let's just recap what's happening here. We have a pursuit that's in progress. LA County Sheriff's Department in pursuit.
Sheriff's Department.
This driver is wanted for carjacking that took place, I believe, in Southgate. He's been driving very slowly through this on surface streets around the airport and now along the beach. You can see a number of units following very closely behind. It'll be interesting to see what this person does next.
This person hasn't been taunting police
not at all
the whole time since we've picked up
Clearly,
this
this person is lost.
Well, you know, and also when you do kind of a, if you will, post-mortem is the wrong word when you're dealing with something like this, but when you do a review of these, officers have told me that very often the driver says, look, you know what, I've been in jail twice. I know I'm going back to jail. I just figured, why not just keep driving? And I mean, I'm not being glib about this. Very often they just say, hey, what do I have to lose? I know I'm going to jail. I might as well enjoy the drive. There are so many different scenarios, so many different reasons. They're usually much simpler than all of us, you know, come up with.
Something's obviously going on in their life. We saw, Jeff, it's interesting that you brought that up. We saw one pursuit happen in the evening in Covina. This person came to a stop, stayed in the car for an additional 45 minutes, smoked a cigarette, knew he was going to jail.
I remember
then he's like,
that one.
okay, let me finish this cigarette. And then
it's going to be
you
the
guys
last
can take
cigarette
me.
he'll have for a while.
Yeah, well, they don't put up with that. It depends what police department is in pursuit, because sometimes they don't allow that behavior and they'll send the canines out or they'll shoot the beanbag gun and blow out a window or two and get that process moving. But other times, other times they
it is confirmed that it is a man driving. This is the first time we've seen him actually pick up speed. Now actually going the speed limit, maybe even a little more.
Yeah. Hey, Steph,
And
what's
crossing
up?
over the center line.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, there's
Starting to get a little
changing.
Becoming a little bit more brazen.
And we want to welcome our CBS viewers for just about a minute or so to bring you up to date on a pursuit that we've been following on KCAL 9. This is a pursuit that is down by the airport, down by El Segundo, Playa Del Rey. And this guy has just started speeding up after police have been pursuing him at about 20 miles per hour. And our producer caught, I didn't see it, but that a unit went past him. That's highly unusual, but may have gone past him, if that's true, to look inside.
Right.
See what they're dealing with.
Good point. This person is indeed picking up some speed there. For much of this pursuit, he's been going pretty slowly. And look, it looks like that window, his driver's side window was cracked open a bit for a short, really quick second there. And then he rolled it back up.
Okay, so this person was crossing Grand, the Chevron refinery, not too far away. Pretty much open space, though. You're not going to see any traffic in this direction.
A little tighter shot there.
Yeah.
And we're going to leave our CBS 2 viewers for just a minute.
Okay. He seems to be slowing down.
Yeah, this is.
Hey, Steph, what are his options at this time? What's ahead?
If he crossed or went south of Grand Avenue, there's not much until you reach Rosecrans, and then we're getting ourselves into the South Bay. You hit Manhattan Beach, you go into Hermosa, Redondo, and there on. So once we cross over Rosecrans, we will start to see some activity at the beach area, because that's where there's a lot of cafes. That's where people walk their dogs.
And it's a beautiful day out today too, so a lot of people may head to the
absolutely.
beach to go rollerblading, if they still rollerblade.
Exactly.
Or bicycling.
It's also very congested there.
And people have so many different schedules, so you think it's a typical workday, there's not many people out.
And
not the case in the South Bay. There are always people out. And of course, people on vacation here, that's where they go.
And the streets get smaller too. They become very, just very community, very much smaller, a lot more traffic. You see cars parked alongside of the road. It goes to one lane, just a very congested area.
And we welcome back our CBS 2 viewers to a pursuit that has been going on for the better part of an hour now, that we are continually covering on KCAL 9. Manhattan Beach. Well, you said Manhattan Beach, and that's where apparently we're just about there. And as Sharon pointed out, the streets are very narrow there. There's a lot of traffic there, and when you get into traffic, sometimes you're just stuck. You can't go anywhere.
We just passed a unit that was camped out in the corner there. Oh, okay. That was a Manhattan Beach police officer.
Yeah, that's a great example of the Sheriff's Department working really well with all the other agencies, because this guy's gone through about, 5 different, jurisdictions or cities.
So this person just crossed over Rosecrans. So now, again, we are in Manhattan Beach. This turns into Highland Avenue. Vista Del Mar turns into Highland Avenue. People use that as an alternate for Sepulveda. So if this were an evening commute, we would be slammed. But right now, you're not going to see much traffic in that direction. But you will see a lot of people walking. You can see somebody. Oh, it looks like they just tried to pull out the spike strip on the side there. Wow. Did you see that, officer?
Those.
Yep, they're starting to get more aggressive.
Steph, we're just going to tell everybody on CBS we're going to leave you now, but we will be back at different times during the morning to keep you up to date on this pursuit, and we will continue on KCAL 9. Okay, so you were saying Highland Avenue. This is a shopping area. This is, $2, $3, $4 million homes dotting every postage stamp plot of land down there.
The reason why police get a little more aggressive now, or we're seeing them get more aggressive with the spiked strips, because the streets are narrow. This is where you have a lot of pedestrian activity, and there are so many stoplights. We're going to hit in just a little bit here Manhattan Beach Boulevard. That's where it's going to get really sticky. And there's so many cars trying to park. Parking in Manhattan Beach is so difficult in and of itself. So you can see, so people are going to be driving slowly by this person trying to find parking as well, unaware that there's a pursuit going on.
You know, though, Stephanie, This is
That's Manhattan Beach Boulevard, by the way.
That's Manhattan Beach Boulevard.
Yep.
We talk about the congestion down there. I don't know if this is the PD who have blocked off the street very well, or if it's just not a very busy day right now in Manhattan Beach. Because look, there really is no traffic.
Yes, you wonder if they're talking to each other up ahead and trying to keep that side of the road clear. But you can see people stopped on the opposite side.
Well, that's true.
Mm-hmm. I'm not even seeing anyone walking along the boulevard.
No.
And
Which is
normally you
very
see,
interesting.
yeah, because normally you see a bunch of people and sitting outside of the cafes.
The Kettle, that big restaurant, people are there. It's open 24 hours. People are there at all hours, and this is right by that area. So it's very surprising that you don't see even families driving there. There's another spike strip.
Welcome to CBS 2 News. You are watching breaking news, a pursuit happening in the Manhattan Beach area. This pursuit started about an hour ago. The police are chasing after what is a carjacking suspect for much of pretty much a slow speed pursuit through much of the hour.
Yeah, so here's what happens. The guy carjacks someone in Southgate, steals the car from a person. We don't know if a weapon was used. And in a case like that, you would think, going to speed away. But no, has not tried to get away. He has gone either at the speed limit or below it, accelerating a couple of times, but only a couple of times. Now he looks like he's on a run. There you go.
There we go.
Oh, there was a spike strip right there.
He went
Did
around
it
the
pop
spikes. No, he went around the spike strip.
He went around it? Okay.
And you can see it. It looks like a snake on the ground, and the spikes come up when the officer holding the control hits the button. The spikes come up, then they go back down.
This guy does not have many options. The streets are very narrow. There's a lot of cars parked. What street are we on now?
Just took a right.
This person just turned off of Highland just a minute ago, so this is the second turn off of Highland. We need to zoom in on a street sign if we can here. This is a residential area, though. You can see all the homes, multi-million-dollar homes right there.
Yeah.
Right by the beach.
Now left, probably right.
No, we see. Okay.
Maybe Ardmore, because the chip trail is right off in the distance, the running trail there.
Right.
That splits the thoroughfare at Ardmore.
They're on your right.
Oh,
See him throw the spike strip out there? He may have. Yeah, he ran over it, but the question is whether the officer was able to deploy the spikes in time.
People are so lucky. This person's lucky that there aren't many more pedestrians, because that chip trail off to the left there, everyone uses that.
Yeah, especially on a beautiful day like today, you would imagine that there are plenty of people out there and about running.
Oh,
All right, are we heading back north now? Did he make a loop, or are we still heading south?
It's really unclear at this point, because he made two quick turns, and we didn't get cross streets.
Yeah.
Sometimes when they're turning erratically,
I want to see. It looks like that front right passenger tire.
Yeah.
Yep,
looks
that does
flat.
look like both of them.
Both of them.
Guys, I think he's on. I know this area very well. I'd be surprised if this wasn't Ardmore, because there's some quirky intersections, and it looks like we're zoomed in. We're zoomed in pretty far, but or close, I should say. But that looked like a wonky intersection there, and that's right there, as I was saying. Usually on Ardmore.
Ardmore running parallel to Manhattan Avenue?
No, it's perpendicular.
Oh.
There you go. Okay, there you see that unit zooming past him.
So Stephanie, that's that green belt area.
Yes.
In the center there.
Yes.
That's what you were talking about.
Yes.
All right.
Exactly.
So we see two tires.
It's what they call the chip trail.
We see two tires deflated, and that's what we can see. We don't know what's happening on the other side of the car. We don't know whether the driver's side wheel is deflated as well.
Okay, turning again.
Okay.
And you can see the trail on both sides of that street. Now, if they could just zoom in on that.
So we're down at Valley now?
Wow, this is a tight squeeze.
Well, and very difficult to make turns. So now he's heading south on Valley, we're told.
South on Valley?
Oh, we see the left, it looks like the driver's side wheel is deflated as well.
So he was on Ardmore a second ago at Duncan. And then
so
now
are we
Valley.
still in Manhattan Beach, or are we down in
Manhattan Beach borders and Hermosa Beach
Yeah.
are so close together. You throw a stone and you're in Hermosa. So it's right there splitting the beaches.
All righty.
Wow. Okay.
Just a few minutes
Yeah.
ago, this person hit that spike strip. So again, the tire's deflating.
All right, in case you're just in case you're just joining us, you're watching a pursuit that's in progress. It's been in progress for some 45 minutes or so, which it started in Southgate. This is a carjacking suspect, and police have been following very closely behind all over along the streets around the Southland.
And here's the spike
police
strip,
tried
and we
to-
slowed it down for you so you can see in the upper right how it went out just a second before he hit it. And that's, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Sharon, I'm sorry. That's also a tactic. You don't put it out too soon because that gives the driver time to see it.
Right.
So you throw it out just as he arrives. Officers normally kind of hide behind something so the driver can't see them. And in this case, it was effective.
Hey, do you know which direction on Valley they're going?
So we're going south on Valley, down into Hermosa Beach. And there you see it again.
Was that the second spike strip that they'd thrown out?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first one was by the beach, I believe.
Really starting to slow his roll there.
Yeah, I don't think he can go very far on those deflated tires.
It is so
Oh, there we
surprising.
go. He's
Oh,
rolled down the window.
He's going to go by a
Hands
high.
out.
I wonder if he's gone past Hermosa Valley High.
He's sticking his hand out. I don't
Oh,
what
there you
he's
go.
trying to do.
Okay.
I don't know whether he's waving it at police
That is a first.
officers, but he probably had to get some fresh air.
Or taunting the police
Well-
Or
now.
taunting them, exactly.
Yeah, you know, if you look at just at the body language alone, he's got a very relaxed arm. This doesn't appear to be signs of somebody who is panicking or is
Nope.
who is too worried.
Well, he's just exhausted,
There's that.
you know,
And
from
you
running.
know, it's mental exhaustion. Not that we're trying to be empathetic for a guy who allegedly carjacked somebody, but it is mentally exhausting to have those officers behind you, to hear the helicopter above you, which is circling just at about 300 feet off the deck, and you hear those rotors whooping, and it's it gets to you, and that's actually works in officers' favor.
And we still can't see him. It has not been confirmed if he's by himself. Sometimes there is just a driver, and then all of a sudden a dog pops out of the back.
Right, someone in the back. But we haven't seen anyone because the windows are so tinted.
No, it appears he's by himself. But if he does come to a stop, what will happen is they'll take the guy into custody, but then another group of officers will come in, pop the trunk, search for weapons or anything else that might be of note there in the car, and then they will clear the scene.
Yeah.
They have to search that vehicle as well.
Wearing a blue T-shirt,
Hasn't thrown
one
anything
hand
out.
on the wheel, nothing's been thrown out of the car.
Not sure whether he's armed.
We're heading through
well, if he-
Hermosa, heading
Yeah.
towards Hermosa, and then of
Oh,
course.
we're not down there yet?
Well, I think we are actually. It's hard to see those cross streets.
Yeah, it'd be like Pier Avenue.
Right, Valley's a very long street.
Yeah. But one thing is, when you say we don't know if he's armed or not, the one thing that this has really helped police with, when he opened the window, they can now see both of his hands. And that means, yeah, there may be a weapon in the car, but they do know he isn't holding
He's not
it.
holding it, right?
It just gives them a
crossed an
lot more
intersection there.
information. And also when you talk about the fatigue of the driver, he's on his own. Officers behind these pursuits, they switch out. So the sergeant will say, okay, you pull off. We're going to bring somebody fresh in there because they want to make sure their officers are fresh as well. And they do that, it could be every 15 minutes, could be every 30 minutes, but they don't want officers to kind of get into a vision lock. So nothing in this guy's favor.
Oh, he's picked up
You know.
speed.
Yeah, he can't
Well,
go.
he's going fast, slow, and right now it looks like he picked up a little bit
There's
of
the
speed.
school
right
bus.
there, and
I was
there's the
talking
school
about
bus.
that
The
school.
school is on the right-hand side right there,
And
on
you can
top,
see
above your screen.
Yep, inching closer because they don't mess around when they're by schools. That's when their strategy starts to get a little more
they
aggressive.
back off. Exactly. It makes sense.
All right, we've lost a visual there.
Pulling back in Hermosa, and I don't know if it's possible our helicopter was told to move for air traffic reasons, or if maybe the helicopter has to leave for fuel.
For fuel.
That's very possible too. But it appears that Sky 2 is pulling away from the scene. Here is a shot when the officer threw out the spike strip. That was an LAPD, or I should say LA Sheriff's deputy, and that right there. Look at that. That popped the two right tires, giving the driver less to work with than he had before. All right, all right, everybody. So because our helicopter had to leave the scene, we are going to recap this for you when we join you again. Good morning, everybody. We're interrupting your programming to rejoin a very long police pursuit. You are now seeing this live coverage on KCAL 9 and CBS 2 News. We started with this chase, 8:15, I believe it began. Sharon Tay, Jeff Michael in the CBS 2 KCAL 9 studios, as we've watched this car move at probably no more than 20 to 30 miles an hour, and now maybe down to 10 to 15 miles an hour.
Yeah, as Jeff mentioned, this started around the Southgate area. This is a carjacking suspect who's wanted by police in this, what appears to be a very small SUV there. He has been driving at a very, very slow speed, at very slow speeds all around the South Bay. Right now, you are watching him go southbound on Catalina. This is happening in Redondo Beach. It's hard to keep track of this guy because he's been making a turn after turn after turn and then stopping and then going again. He's been very erratic in his behavior.
Carjacking suspect, don't know if a weapon was used. We do know that earlier he finally rolled down the window, which gave police a little more information. He is a male. He's wearing a blue T-shirt, had one hand on the wheel, one hand outside the car, and even at a couple of times looked just irked and threw his hand up, kind of his palm to the sky as if, why are you guys still following me?
Right. Jeff and Sharon, I am joining you as well. This is Stephanie Simmons in traffic. I have been watching this pursuit along with you two. As we stepped away for a moment to refuel, I can tell you that this person was driving erratically for a moment the wrong way on some one-way streets. The South Bay is cluttered with one-way streets. Now, again, southbound on Catalina. To the right of this person, very high-end apartments. And then to the left, you'll see shopping centers and some other apartment complexes as well. So this is a very populated area and right by King Harbor.
We are so incredibly amazed that this guy is still going because he is literally driving on two deflated tires.
Didn't you say you thought you saw the rubber come off of one of the tires?
The two deflated tires are on the passenger side. Apparently one of the law enforcement agencies, whether it was one of the police departments, had thrown out a spike strip at some point early on during this chase, and it deflated two of the tires there.
Looks like he hasn't made a decision on where he wants to go. He's just stuck in an intersection.
And he could perhaps out of gas.
Catalina.
That, or he just can't drive anywhere because of that, the tire. I saw the rubber fly off that back tire there.
Look how far away the squad cars are now. This is a new strategy in the last few minutes. They were tailing this guy very closely, and then once they put out that second spike strip, they really changed their minds and decided, hey, we're just going to track this person, and really made a huge buffer between that car and themselves.
All right, he has just turned off of Catalina Avenue. He's now heading east on Garnet. He has two intersections to go before he hits the PCH. Maybe hit is a little bit of an overstatement because at that speed, he's barely crawling there. And that's because of what Sharon pointed out. Nope, just made a right.
And he's going the wrong way.
Before the PCH, so maybe on Broadway?
He's adjusting his...
Okay, could be on Francisca.
Hard to tell. He's making left and rights and turns and U-turns throughout this pursuit. So it's kind of hard tracking this guy.
So he's not going to go much faster than this because he knows he has no tires on the right side of his car, and it doesn't matter that the two on the left are inflated because he just can't control the vehicle at a higher speed. And as I said, his demeanor is just almost like he's fed up with police officers, but not enough to want to get a pair of handcuffs put on him. So he continues. And from, as Stephanie pointed out, oh, here you go, officer coming around, starting a pit maneuver to spin him around. But he's going so slow, goes up onto a sidewalk, tries to get control of the car again. And he's going to do it again. Officers are going to wait until other cars are not around. Those parked cars are a problem because now he has a little bit more speed. Intersection's a good spot, and he tries it again.
There you go. Oh.
Now this is a different tactic. This is, are we on Redondo PD who is doing this?
Ooh,
nope, there we go, spun the car around.
There,
and
they
now
got him. Hopefully they got
Now
him.
they'll block him from behind and in front.
They'll surround the car.
He'll try to
There
back
he's
up,
trying
but
to
there
back
should
up.
be a unit behind him to stop him from doing that. Oh, that unit didn't go behind him.
No, it didn't.
Now
Oh,
they've
he's
got a
going
guy who's going to be
backwards.
putting people in danger. He's moving in reverse at a higher speed than he was driving before. He's going to hit
Oh, he's
something.
going to hit another car.
And there's a
truck that's parked in the middle of that
Well, we
street.
saw this before. We saw somebody park vehicles to try to block him, kind of vigilante style. And he got away from that maneuver. And now they're going. Now they realize, okay, there's nothing this guy won't do. Now it's just going to be a demolition derby with officers and this car. The bumper dragging on the street. He's now at a higher speed than he was when he had 4 good tires. Now he's got 2.
Yeah,
And here it comes again.
it goes.
And a missed
just got
pit.
the bumper.
Yeah, this is
It's tricky.
well,
He's-
and it's
he's picked up
difficult. Look, I
speed.
mean, we just lost our signal there for a second,
There he-
and now we got it back. Redondo Beach, if you are watching KCAL 9, CBS 2 News, do not go out and try to, yell at this guy. We just saw 2 people do that. Stay
very-
away from this area, because whether on his own accord or by police provocation, now this guy is upset. And he's a lot more inclined
Oh, now he's on PCH.
to do something that could put other people in danger.
Okay, he's on PCH now.
Do we know if he's going south? Like south near
going
Torrance
southbound?
Boulevard, probably?
Okay.
Or he's
He
past
passed-
Torrance Boulevard. He's at a higher clip than he has been all morning. We're now about an hour and 15 minutes into this pursuit. We were talking earlier, well, let's
Okay.
hold. Yeah, can we hold off on that for just a minute, only because I don't think if we know we want to. All right, we are showing
There
the
we
first
go.
pit. So there you see what happened just moments ago.
And do we know what intersection that was?
No, I
And
don't.
then a few seconds later, they do another pit maneuver.
And we also, I know we're giving our assignment desk a lot to do, but if we can find out which police department is doing this.
There you go.
There you
That's
go,
the
another
second
pit
one.
attempt. And if you were with us earlier, I was saying
was the
that
third one.
different police departments have different.
Oh, there you go.
Whoa,
right
into it.
there, right by that what looks like an apartment complex.
You wonder if he hit a parked
Now the car
there.
goes. See, now that black and white goes behind him.
Yep.
One officer out.
Guns drawn.
Guns drawn. They want to make sure they're not in each other's line of fire.
Mm-hmm.
If you're wondering, we're going to get around that side of the house as soon as we can.
There.
All right, you see officers still have their guns drawn.
He's not out of the car yet.
It doesn't appear he
Mm-hmm.
is. The car is wedged between a police unit and the curb.
Luckily, there wasn't a car parked there or
Yes.
someone walking by.
This is the last
Yeah,
pit maneuver
Yeah,
that brought him to a standstill right there
let's,
at the curb there. You see a number of officers have their guns drawn.
you have both local police
Demanding
as well
that he
as
get out of the
sheriff's
car.
deputies.
He's still refusing to get out of the car.
Yeah.
Now, as we mentioned earlier, sometimes they bring the canines out. Sometimes they'll pull out the beanbag gun and pop that windshield, but the guns are drawn, and it looks like they're just waiting him out right now.
Yeah, in order to get a dog in there, you're right, Stephanie. They have to break one of the windows, and as much as people never want to see a dog injured, that is a lot safer than potentially injuring one of those officers. They've trained for this, and their weapons are drawn, and yet none of those officers out there have any desire to have this end any way other than peacefully. But as I said, you saw a very different tactic from this police department, and we need to find out if it's Redondo Beach Police, than we saw from the Sheriff's Department. Sheriff's Department content to let him drive. The local police department
It looks like they're bringing out.
became
They're
much
bringing
more
out
aggressive.
gear here.
Yeah, looks like a beanbag gun.
Well, that's a 12-gauge shotgun
Okay.
that holds beanbag rounds inside the 12-gauge shells. It's kind of a coin toss whether that round will take out a window or not. But it's part of what they call less lethal force, and And I'll tell you, I mean, I've seen people get hit by those, and it'll definitely put you in the cheap seats. It's not a pleasant experience. But once again, less lethal. We can't hear them, but at this point, they're giving him verbal commands. They're yelling at him to get out of the car. They don't want him to get out all at once, though. What they want him to do is put the window down, show his hands. It's important. The hands are the most important part of a suspect. Show his hands, open the door from the outside handle, and then get out. That's what they want. Police officers obviously waiting it out, waiting for their superiors to give the call on what they're going to do. They see that guy waving, one of the officers up there, he's waving somebody off.
What is the longest standoff you've been on?
Oh, we've had some that's gone 15 hours. We had a kidnapping thing that went nearly 20.
Wow, okay. What about a carjacking standoff? What's the longest?
You know, nothing really jumps out. Most of them are generally over within a few hours.
Well, let's talk about the advantage then. Let's talk about, is there an advantage to letting this go on and on and on?
Well, you got time on your side. You know, and that's the thing. There's really no reason to be in a super hurry. We want to do this as safe as possible. It also wears down suspects.
Okay.
So,
Interesting. Okay.
You know, it's much better to take your time, do it right, get your people in and the right personnel on scene to make it as safe as possible. So there's no reason to. Every time you introduce something, then sometimes that can create a counter effect. So as you move forward and you become more aggressive, then that creates a situation for the suspects too. So.
Yeah, but what about...
And they're getting information where this whole thing started. I noticed, I think it started in Southgate. I'm not sure if that's the Sheriff's Department's jurisdiction, which would kind of account for all these other different agencies, because literally they're going to be the investigative agency when it's all said and done.
Now, we were talking about options earlier on. What about the tear gas option? I don't know, fired from an R1 or whatever. Those canisters, though, should be able to penetrate those windshields, right?
Oh, there were. Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah.
They'll use 40 millimeters.
Right.
And it'll penetrate those windows, especially from that distance. Again, with the APCs, with the armored vehicles, you can deploy that from a variety of different angles. There's a number of different tactics that you can use.
Johnny, this is Stephanie Simmons in traffic. I'm just curious, would the end of this pursuit be the same way if it were on a freeway versus ending on a surface street? Would they quicken things up?
No.
They would let it play out on the freeway just this long. Interesting.
Absolutely.
So the key is to wear down that suspect.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it, and to do it safely.
Good plan, yeah.
Again, when you have time on your side, then you utilize it. There's really no reason. Perhaps, if there was a hostage type situation or something, then that could potentially create a different issue. But it appears, at least from what we could tell, it was one person in the vehicle, and again, I haven't heard any information different from that. So let's take that and get it done on our terms as opposed to theirs.
Johnny, you have been
the greatest help.
Great resource for us.
Thank
we really
you.
appreciate it. And
sure.
And while we keep you, we want to tell everybody that we are going to keep an eye on this. We have our newscast coming up at 11 o'clock on CBS 2. But for now, I think we're going to return you to your regular program, so you can be about your day as well. But please join us at 11 o'clock.
Right, and also KCAL 9 News at noon, as well as you can find more information, and also you can keep an eye on this pursuit, or the end of this pursuit, on CBSLA.com.
1, 2, 3. It took 7 pit maneuvers or attempted pits to bring this carjacking chase to a crashing halt. But the driver was not ready to give up.
KCAL 9's Dave Lopez is live in Redondo Beach, where the chase turned into a long standoff. Dave?
Well, it was something else. Just over my shoulder is where it all came to an end on Pacific Coast Highway, not far from Palos Verdes Drive. It was indeed an incredible sight. This man, who still has not been identified, did not want to give up. It was a long chase and then a 2-hour standoff, and it ended peacefully.